Okay, well, a lot has changed since the last ERI update video when I was in a much happier place walking along the cliffs of Ireland. And wow, a lot is different now. But I wanted to let you know what's been going on. I haven't been talking a lot about kind of what ERI has been doing in this coronavirus time. I think that had a lot to do with me not wanting to speak out about coronavirus or say things like that I don't really understand. And so I kind of took a long time before I even said anything about the issue. And I think I overcompensated, and we just haven't been really communicating with people what's going on with us. And another part of that is I'm really concerned for our donors. Like, this is a really scary time. It's not just a scary time for us, it's a scary time for a lot of our people. As far as I can tell so far, about 1/3 of our donors have been affected by coronavirus. And so this is just a terrifying time. At least I still have a job, and there's a lot of people that don't. And this is really scary. And so I do want to communicate to you what we've been up to and what is going on, but yeah, I don't know what this video is going to be like. I feel really emotionally raw right now, and maybe that's a good thing. This is going to be really real, but I do want to let you know what's been going on. I know that you still care about us. And want to see us continue our work, and we have been. We've been doing a lot of good work. So this is my home office. I'll do a quick kind of pan around to give you a sense, but what I have here is 2 computers that are functioning. I've got my laptop, and the monitor on the other side is also kind of an extended monitor for my MacBook. And so that's where I'm doing a lot of my emails and texting and things like that. And then in the middle, I've got a monitor that's connected to our more powerful computer where I'm doing my editing and running webinars and the things that just a more powerful computer needs. And then above that, I've got one of our cameras set up for the webinars and things that we've been doing. I've finally got the right kind of cable and adapter that I can actually plug that camera directly into the computer, and the computer kind of just sees it as a webcam. It's kind of like a high-res webcam. And so there's a webinar that I've been producing with Oregon Right to Life. I'll talk about it a little bit later, but I'm using that for that, and that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be using that for a lot of our future podcasts and things like that. So this is my setup. I'm not going to show you the rest of this room because it's bad. Don't want to see it. This is kind of the only angle, the only good-looking angle in this room. But at least this area is nice, and it wasn't for a while. This desk was a disaster for a while, and it's like, okay, I need, for my own mental health, I need just kind of a clean place to work. And so maybe at some point we'll get the rest of this room cleaned up, but it's not right now, and I'm not going to show you. So here's the thing. As has happened once or twice before, I realized that I still have a couple of things at the old office, at the studio, that I need for our work. Because, again, none of us were expecting to be doing this. And of course, none of us have known how long the social distancing and all of that would take. And so, there was this one evening where we got the notification that our county was kind of moving into a shelter-in-place situation. So I rushed to the studio and I grabbed so much stuff. It's kind of like I was trying to grab everything I could possibly need, and I was mostly effective at that, but I ended up forgetting a couple of things. And I realized today, as I want to create this video and some other videos like it, there are a couple of pieces of equipment that I still need. So I'm going to take you on a little journey with me, and we'll talk about coronavirus, and I'm going to pick up the stuff that I need, and then we'll probably end up back here and just kind of give you an update on what's been going on. I'll put some time codes below so that if you don't want to watch this whole thing, then if you want to just skip to what has ERI been doing or whatever, then you can do that. But for those of you that would like to, let's take a journey to a very different looking and emptier office than usual. Let's go. Much more empty than usual studio. I'm wearing a glove for opening doors in case you're worried about me exposing myself. But yeah, so this is usually where we film our videos against this wood background. So usually there's cameras and tripods here. Our lights are still up here. I'm not planning on using those at home. But I do need to grab this shotgun mic, I need to grab a few other microphones, and I need to grab another tripod, and I need to grab that screwdriver. So let me grab a few things, and then maybe I'll just talk about what's going on in here. Okay, I think I have everything I need. I got mic cables, a shotgun mic, screwdriver, some hard drives, a couple of cables, a lens hood, and this C-stand. So I think I'm good. And now I think I'm just going to hang out here and just talk about what's going on. So, yeah, coronavirus has definitely affected us. We had to cancel a couple of speaking events. I expect those to get rescheduled down the road. But we did lose some speaking events. We're all working from home right now, and that is some of us already work from home. I mean, Andrew and Jacob always work from home, and then Jen works a lot from home, and then Rachel and I kind of would sometimes work in here. I would usually work in here, and occasionally work at home, and so that's difficult. You know, we're dealing with it's the same thing that everyone's dealing with is. It's like homeschooling and trying to work from home and all of that is just, it's difficult. We're making it, but it's stressful and it's hard and it's scary because we don't know what the effect of everything is going to be. It's kind of nice. We just recently had a board meeting, so I'd already kind of put together notes that kind of just like summarize, like, here's kind of what's going on. And so, most of our work goes on. We've got a few projects that will get published later than we were planning on it, just because some of it we can't do at home. But we still have other projects that we're able to work on from home. We had luckily already had a lot of stuff kind of in the can, already recorded, several podcasts, and some videos that I had shot in here a while back. We've been putting those out. Those are these really short videos of me answering questions that people had asked. So those are pretty easy to put together. I could do those from home. There's some other video ideas I have that I could do from home. So for the most part, everything moves on. We're not as affected as certain groups that are like doing a lot of events or working with a lot of people in the same place. And so, for our donors, that's a happy thing because it's not like everything is kind of grinding to a halt. I have been reaching out to donors lately, mainly texting and emailing them because I've wanted to know how they're doing. This is just a scary time for everybody. As far as I can tell, about a third of our donors have been negatively affected financially. I'll be more I'll have like a more accurate figure when my sample size has grown larger. But this is a hard time for a lot of people. And frankly, I have felt squeamish about the idea of doing any fundraising right now because a lot of people are losing their jobs. And it just feels like an awkward time to kind of have our hand out and ask for funding. But at the same time, my friend Liberty from Oregon Right to Life made a really good point the other day as we were recording or pre-recording part of this conference that we're putting on, is that our donors see what we do, or a lot of our donors see what we do as an essential service. And this work only happens if we're funded. Our donations were down 38% last month from the previous month. That's pretty scary. And we suspect that has a lot to do with coronavirus. I am really grateful to a few donors who have kind of stepped up. We had one donor, they basically front-loaded all of their planned giving for the rest of this year and next year all in one big one-time gift because they expected, without me even saying anything, that we would be struggling. And most nonprofits are struggling right now. And like that was just super cool of them and helpful. And so I'm still trying to figure all of this out. We're okay. We're not in total crisis. We're like no one's getting let go in the next month or something. But I can also say that what is happening right now is not sustainable in the long term. It's like thankfully we have some funds in the bank, sort of like savings that we can draw on for a while. But I think we're all just really hoping that this coronavirus thing, the curve gets flattened and the social distancing can be relaxed and people can get back to work. Because a lot of our donors are not kind of wealthy, like in the top, they're not 1% people. A lot of our donors are low to middle income, and those are the people who have been the most affected by this. And so yeah, it's been really good to be reaching out to people and getting a sense of how they're doing. I'm asking people for prayer requests, like how can I be praying for them? I know that I'm not going to be able to get to everybody that way because I know that our donors don't want us to just kind of grind everything to a halt and only go into communicating with our donors. And so I'm trying to have a balance between kind of keeping projects moving forward, keep on putting things out. We want to put a lot of content out right now because a lot of people are at home. This is a great time to be, have you always wanted to take the Equip for Life course or the Sidewalk Counseling Masterclass and take your dialogue skills to the next level? Well, this is a great time for that. And so a lot of my time has been in audio and video editing and getting things ready to put out. And we're putting things out fast enough that we're not even doing like an email blast every time. Like a lot of these solo Joss videos, we're just putting them on the YouTube channel. So subscribe to the YouTube channel if that's the kind of content that you're interested in. Subscribe to the Equip for Life podcast and the Equal Rights Institute podcast because we've been putting stuff out on both of those. We've got multiple more. We've got at least one more Equip for Life course podcast that we had already recorded. So we're going to be putting that out. And then I've got enough equipment at home that I can start recording like interviews with people. We had a lot of interviews we were wanting to do with different pro-life people about different topics. So I might start recording those from home. So the audio quality might go down a little bit because my home office doesn't have sound panels and stuff. But we're all doing our best. One thing that I am wanting to do, I can't start this like this week, and I don't know exactly all the logistics, but this was another really cool idea I got from Liberty at Oregon Right to Life, which was kind of having a regular time, even if it's just once a week, maybe twice a week, to have an hour or two that I'm just kind of available to our donors on Zoom. So I'll set up some kind of a Zoom meeting room. We'll probably like email a link to everyone and it'll have a password on it, but kind of like just anyone at any time in those windows can just jump in and just talk. and talk about how each other are doing. And I'm certainly happy to answer questions about what we're doing at ERI or answer, questions about pro-life apologetics or whatever. But mostly just to, kind of be with each other. This is like, especially the extroverts are really struggling right now because they're stuck at home and not being able to be around people. And it's kind of like, okay, if I can't text every single donor or email every single donor personally, then maybe I can do that as much as possible, but then also kind of have this time that's available just to kind of be with people and speak into their lives and maybe pray for each other. So stay tuned for that. I'll do some kind of an email announcement, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, about getting that going. But first, I need to finish producing this conference. I've been producing this pro-life conference. It's mainly for pro-life professionals with Liberty at Oregon Red to Life. This was really her idea. This is something they've been wanting to do, I guess, for a while. And she talked to me about it. So she really wanted me to kind of co-host it, co-produce it. And so we're bringing on people to talk about the kinds of topics that sometimes pro-life professionals, pro-life organizations could use some help on. And Liberty and I are kind of interviewing these different guests with different areas of expertise. So we're pre-recording everything. We've got kind of different slots that we've scheduled with different people. Liberty and I have already recorded our own presentations. I'm doing a thing on social media dialogue, which is a topic that a lot of people have been very interested in lately, and it's great. I've spent a lot of time thinking about that. So we had put up a webinar replay, in fact, from last year of me talking about that. I also did a special kind of private Q&A session with Protect Life Michigan recently on that topic. That's a really cool kind of pro-life campus group in Michigan that had bought 100 of our courses to give out to their students. They're just really excited about dialogue. So we've been working with them, working with Students for Life, just trying to help people, as much as we can right now, especially on that topic. And Liberty talked about fundraising, and then over the next weekend and the next week or so, we're interviewing some other people, and I'm editing it and putting it all together, and then we'll live stream it in a few weeks and be in the chat answering questions. And anyway, so that's something that I'm doing for the next few weeks, and why I don't think I can start setting up like open Zoom windows right now, because a lot of those days when I'm not home alone with the kids, when my wife is also home, not babysitting. CC babysits for a woman who's legally blind. So she's one of those kind of, it's like an essential care kind of a situation. Those times I'm booked up, kind of putting together this conference. But after that, I want to be able to be in touch with our donors. Just like find out like what's going on. How can we serve you, and what do you want to know about what's going on with us? So, all right, let's see if I've got any other updates. So I've done a couple of radio interviews lately. I'll see if I can hunt down links to those if you want to listen to those. I know one of them was a radio station in Ireland interviewing me, and I feel like someone else was somewhere in the States. I talked in the last video, the one in Ireland, about trying to get us into what we've been calling our new normal, which is kind of consistent video and audio publishing, consistent publishing of podcasts and videos. And we are now in that mode. We've been in that mode now for, I think, about a month now. And Rachel and I and Jen are working with a really complicated scheduling spreadsheet. And we've kind of been trying to figure out exactly when do we want to release things and how do we want to spread them out. And so anyway, we've got dates and deadlines and all these different things. And it's been going really well so far. But it's taken a little bit of time to kind of get into that and figure out what are the things that we needed, like new intro and outro things and stuff like that. So anyway, that's been going on. We launched this video with CareNet. If you haven't seen the equal rights argument video, I talked about that last time because we had filmed it, I think, just a week before that Ireland video at CareNet's office in DC. But it's kind of a PragerU style video, with me talking to camera in front of a green screen, and there's a bunch of animation and stuff. And so Rachel, for the most part, did the script writing, and I read it on a teleprompter well in front of a camera, and the CareNet did the editing and the animation and stuff. And it came out really, really well. So if you haven't seen that yet, we're really proud of it. By the time this video comes out, it'll either be on our YouTube channel or it'll be on our YouTube channel soon. It's on CareNet's YouTube channel already, and they've got like a website. We've also got an article version where we've kind of expanded on it. So it's kind of now this is kind of the new best place to read about what we've called Equal Rights Argument 1.0. The original Equal Rights Argument. That's more simple. It's easier to learn. It's easier to grasp really for both sides. And if you want to dive deeper, if you want the 2.0, right now the only place to find that is in the Equip for Life course. We've got this new module, it's about an hour long, that we published a few months ago that does a really, really great job of precisely explaining exactly what do we mean by person and how to defend that and how to counter some of the really tough pro-choice responses to that, like Boone and Spider and Thule's cat. If you want to learn, go really deep right now, that's only in the Equip for Life course. We're not talking about it publicly right now. We might later. But right now, frankly, we're looking at publishing some articles in like academic journals. And because some of the work that our philosophy team did between 2017 and 2019 on that content is really unique. We started by being really influenced by Dr. Russell D. Silvestro, this brilliant philosopher at UC Sacramento. But ultimately, our team needed to do some more work to tweak, solve some problems that, as far as we know, hadn't really been solved before, at least at a level that we were happy with. And so I'm so proud of our team. Like I don't want to get into all the details right now, but it is really, really incredible work that they did. And so if you haven't seen that yet, go check that out. What better time than ever to go watch a module about philosophy and understand kind of the best version of this argument. So anyway, at some point there might be other resources if you just don't like watching video. At some point there might be an article in an academic journal or two, or maybe even one on our blog at some point. It's just not a priority for us right now. We have really had to narrow our focus. There are so many different things that we can be doing that we've tried to do a good job lately at really keeping our eyes on the ball, our eyes on what are the most important projects that we can be working on outside of kind of the normal day-to-day stuff that we're doing. So there are certain kinds of things that like we're tempted to do and we could do, but we're trying to keep a narrow focus on certain projects. And so that's about it. And I'll just say at a personal level, it's stressful. We're doing okay, but it's stressful. And I would say pray for our team. Like stressful is just the best word. We don't know exactly what is in the future. I know that we feel very, very committed to doing this work. I know that we believe that pro-life people still have a real need for what we're providing for them, and we've got so many really, really cool things that we've got planned for the rest of this year. But pray for us. I've been taking my family on walks a lot. We've been trying a whole bunch of different trails. You're still allowed to go to parks as long as you stay 6 feet away from people. And so something that I've been doing kind of for my own personal mental health is kind of investing in a new hobby. And in my case, that's been photography. And so for those of you that are Facebook friends with me or maybe follow me on Instagram, you might see, I'm kind of going on this, it's sort of a public journey because I'm publishing some of the pictures I've been taking, but they're getting better. I am in the midst of learning more about photography than I ever did, like really getting out of like automatic mode and like what is aperture and ISO and shutter speed and how do all those things interact with each other and thinking about composition. And I really like it. It's been a really good thing for my soul. It's been a little bit emotional. This is a thing that my dad tried to get me into when I was a kid. I'll never forget being at a camp, and my dad one time spent like half a day with me with a camera that he had and teaching me some of these things that I'm now relearning. And he got me kind of into it, but I just didn't take it as seriously as I could have at the time. And it would have been really cool to be able to go on walks with him with the camera and both kind of be trying different things and enjoying each other's work and the creativity and what kind of comes out of it. And so so it's kind of a cool thing to be getting back into, and it's been a really good thing for me and kind of gets me outside. And so if you want to follow that, feel free to follow me on Instagram, I guess. I don't care. It is up to you. And I guess I would say if you have the ability to give, I would ask that you give. If you're out of work, I totally understand. Like, we get it. But if you are one of those people that, this whole situation hasn't really affected your job because you're an essential worker or you already worked from home or whatever, we could really use the help. You could really kind of help step up for some of our donors who just had to drop off. And we've lost some of our biggest monthly donors in the last couple of months for various reasons. Some of them related to coronavirus, some of them not. And so, we've taken a hit. And so if you want to support the work that we're doing, then I would encourage you to do that. You can always do that at equalrightsinstitute.com/donate. And there's kind of multiple ways that you can give there. So yeah, that's about it. If you can't give, please be praying for us. I mean, all of you, please be praying for us. We need it. This is hard, and we're praying for you and thinking about you. I am so sad about what is happening to so many people right now. I know that it gets a lot worse than what I'm experiencing right now, and my heart really goes out to the people that I know who have been really affected by this, and how scared they are and how stressful they are. And so yeah, either way, pray for us. We've got a lot of cool things that we're doing, and we'll continue to do, even if we're having to do it from home and having to be stuck in the house and only talking to each other through things like Zoom. So, okay, I need to get this stuff home. And I've got some other things I've got to work on this afternoon. So thanks for hanging out with me, and I hope you're well.